What's up everybody, and welcome to the Military Simulator Tactical Shooter and Historic Gaming channel, home of the weekly Steam Key giveaway. And don't forget, we got one last postscriptum Steam Key to give away. Tell your friends, tell your mates, don't be greedy. Today we are taking an in-depth look at some of the content created by a modder for postscriptum, and this guy is working on everything from game modes to features, vehicles, tons of requested features like picking up weapons off enemies, riding on tanks, and believe it or not, but flyable planes. We're gonna get into all of it, so just hang tight. This video is gonna be an all-night slobber knocker. So first things first, Mr. Idilo here, and I'm gonna leave a link to all of his media channels. He's got a small YouTube channel and a Discord, even an Instagram, I think. But we're looking at Mr. Idilo's here, complete rework of the logistical deployable system. Now, we're only touching the surface here, as he has systems to rework the whole thing to where it's more like Squad. You can't just get lucky and drop a bomb on the fob. In his system, there's a fob and a radio. Like I said, just like Squad. But like I said, as we progress through this video and I show you more and more of this guy's content, we are only scratching the surface right here. There is tons of stuff on the logistical side that's going to be added to this game. And please bear with me, because we're going to be a little bit all over the place with this one. Not to mention tons of game modes, more than one of which I'd love to see implemented into the vanilla game. One can dream, right? But moving right along, here we have a really cool system where a transport truck, or maybe a logistical truck, I'm not sure, maybe even both, could be used to pack up, transport, and deliver, drop off one of these big pack guns. And of course, when done with it where it's at, you could pack it back up, put it into the truck, and take it to its next location. This is a really cool idea. As you fall back on the defensive side, you could use that same gun on multiple points. Keep in mind, we're going to touch base on this further, but keep in mind, Mr. Idolo is working on a persistent ammo system also, just like the current vanilla Squad. Here is an experimental system in which the rally would enable squad leaders to place a small set of logistical and deployable items down, almost like a mini hab. And going right along with that persistent ammo system like Squad, it would be more like an item where you pick it up and could use it again. And each rally would be like a mini little fob in a way, making the squad leader capable of putting down bunkers, barbed wire, maybe even a couple of emplacements. Of course, in the general area of the rally itself. Now, all these mods kind of work together. He's got things planned from forward vehicle spawners to even a building called the Supply Depot that you would put down. Each team could put down 2, and over time, it rebuilds supply on the fob it's located on. And of course, it would be a target for the enemy. Say like every several seconds, it would add 1 supply to that fob supply. Again, this all ties in with the whole persistent ammo thing. Now, I told you we'd be a little bit all over the place with this video, right? Okay, so welcome to Counter Scriptum Post Strike Global Offensive. To be even more descriptive, Long A of the map Dust 2. This is called the Commando game mode. Anybody that's been following this channel for any duration of time knows I'm a classic Counter-Strike fan. I was playing Counter-Strike at such an early beta version, there wasn't even recoil in the game yet. But that's a story for another time. Yeah, that's right. This little mode is pretty much fleshed out with the buy menu and everything. And a pretty faithful recreation of Dust 2. As you can see, he's spawning on the terrorist side.
We have to control this area, men. Move out and stay low.
And headed to B. Now, just like the classic bomb defusal map, the terrorist team has to plant a bomb at either A or B bomb sites and defend it for a duration of time, where the counter-terrorist team must come in and try to defuse it. And what do you know? There's even Molotov cocktails. Those didn't come into the game until the latest version, Global Offensive. Yeah, like I said, I've been playing that game since the original beta. Oh, real quick, if you missed my last video, be sure to check it out, because it's pretty much Counter-Strike with a Vietnam skin. an indie passion project that is soon to release, so check out that video if you missed it. Now, while we're on the topic of cute little smaller game modes, I would assume this, like the last Commando mode, would accommodate like 10 players, 5 versus 5. This here's what Adalo is calling Gun Game, and it's very similar to like old Counter-Strike paintball maps, or even paintball itself, speedball, it would be more correctly called. A very small indoor map, and of course you could even move the barricades around to your liking, completely customizable. This would be great for seeding servers even, maybe even make it a little bigger, make it accommodate 20 players. This game mode and map idea would be perfect for the early stages of seeding a server, if you ask me. But moving right along, back into more of the features for the main game, presenting the new and improved Commander car. So anybody that's played Postscriptum long enough remembers a time when you used to be able to tow things, supplies, guns, to the front with cars, transports, whatever. For the viewer, you must die for testing. Anyway, I know the Postscriptum Realism mod is working to bring towing back, but in the meantime, here's a system very similar. Using the Commander car, you would then again be able to load up supplies and drop them off among the battlefield wherever you see fit. Now on to a feature that I've seen requested since the inception of the game, and that's being able to ride on the back of a tank as infantry. It may seem so simple, but I understand why the devs haven't really done it yet, as it would add just a host of coding to be done, not to mention animations getting on and off, different animations in the way you would die riding on one of the back of those, and not to mention the glitching this could possibly cause with the existing system. So as a gamer, realize these things aren't just simply implemented into games like this so easy peasy. There's a reason they're not, and that is, like I said, it could cause a host of problems. But again, hats off to Idalo, awesome work here. Now this next one low-key blew my mind a little bit, as this is a feature I don't think I've ever seen requested and haven't even thought of, but is absolutely brilliant, and that is a buildable bridge. Again, this all tying in with Idalo's idea of a persistent supply system. I would imagine this is something, you know, the longer the bridge is, the more it costs, of course, and I'm sure it would be a hefty price. Not to mention the build time here is cut way down just for display, as I'm sure it's going to take, you know, at least a couple guys several seconds to get one section up, consistently shoveling. But man, like I said, this is something I never realized I needed. Just think, we'd be able to get tanks to sections of the map we've never got them to before. This could really change the dynamic and meta of the gameplay, really, if you think about it. Yeah, I didn't know I need this until I saw it. This feature is really cool. Now, this one here is interesting to say the least. Now, I'm no pro in World War II weaponry, but I believe this is a piece of artillery of some sort. And it reminds me of the artillery that sits over in Spawn in the game Hell Let Loose. As you'll see here, when the guy puts out a round, it literally takes a freaking minute for the round to get there, as it is just soaring through the sky. In fact, I think that shadow of a cloud might even beat the round there. Now, I'm not slowing this footage down or speeding it up. This is literally how long the round takes to get there. Indirect artillery support, something like that. Anyway, while we're on this topic, we're going to cover some more of Idalo's kind of artillery, strafing runs, bombings. Go ahead and get all those goodies out of the way. Here we have like a quick fire series of rounds from artillery. I would imagine this would be an off-map call-in from the commander. Kind of like Squad's new artillery, where it's a bit excessive to say the least. Up next is Idalo's version of a bombing run. And when I say bombing run, I mean bombing run. This thing looks as if it would lay to waste everything in a square 50 meters easy. Up next is really cool, and something I wouldn't have even never thought of for Postscriptum, but the ability ability to man a gun turret on a plane that's called in off map. It almost reminds me of the little bubble that's right below the flying fortress. Yeah, the commander calls it in and magically teleports to that little position. This would be cool to send on Utah Beach to strafe up the beach and just lay to waste all the MGs that are nestled into the dunes. I could see this being a bit OP, but have no worries, Idalo has thought of everything, because if somebody calls that in, you just may be laying by with a trusty old AA gun and the capability of returning fire and ultimately shooting the enemy aircraft out of the sky. This is definitely a feature I've seen requested, although relatively not really the need for, but if Idalo's ideas make it into the game, there would definitely be a need for this AA gun, and of course the capability to do this. Okay, so notice that giant radio tower looking thing. Also the strange HUD in the top right. This is Idalo's version of the game mode Occupation. Now recently Karma Cut made this game mode within his mod for Squad, Dynamic Direction, and I loved it. Now basically at the start of a map, both players see a giant circle, and the objective is to make a fob anywhere in the circle. Now since Postscriptum gameplay works better with offensive game modes instead of advanced and secure, I would hope it to be like the same exact game mode except one team defends and one team attacks. So you'd have a brief staging moment where you build a super fob anywhere in the blue circle and the attacking team has a certain amount of time to destroy said fob. Now we talked a lot about persistent ammo through this video. Now all of these little mods all kind of tie together. If you remember those supply depots I mentioned, this game mode would work great with that. The enemy would have the ability to destroy the supply depots, thus making the defending team's supply rate come in slower. So not only would the defending team have to place and defend these supply depots, but of course defend the fob too. And of course the defending team gets to use all of Idalo's new emplacements and deployables. I could really see this mode taking off and being in vanilla. It's so dynamic and organic the way the team picks the spot. And I don't know, man, I want to see more super fobs. There's so many features and aspect of this game that is never used. While we're on game modes, we're going to look at another really cool game mode Idalo has made, and that's the convoy game mode. Sticking with the attacking and defending team aesthetic that works so well with Postscriptum, one team would have to defend the convoy and the other team would have to attack convoy. Now, as this convoy goes from one side of a map to the other, there are different objectives it has to achieve. Like this first objective, the team defending the convoy must destroy this truck to move on. Now, Idalo's just showing off different objectives that can be implemented in this mode. Once that truck is destroyed, the convoy continues to move. Now, all the while, I would imagine the attacking team is trying to take out every truck in the convoy. Now, as you see, the convoy will come to a halt, meaning that an objective must be secured before the convoy continues on. And this time, it's a proximity objective, or so many team members need to be at a certain point, just like a regular captured point. Once that point is captured, convoy continues on. If the convoy makes it all the way to its destination, the team defending the convoy wins. And you could imagine how the attacking team wins. I think this is a great idea for a game mode, and it reminds me of one I'd love to see in Postscriptum, a VIP mode, or as it is in Insurgency, called Ambush. Basically, one team has to escort a very important person from one end of the map to the other, while the other team, of course, tries to stop them. While we're on the topic of game modes, keep in mind I'm only scratching the surface here. Check out his Discord channel for more. But one of the game modes Idalo is working on is territory control. Taken straight from Squad. If you've played Squad, you'll notice this mode. Think of like a checkerboard, except it's like hexagons. A hexagonal board in which each space on that board brings in the team 5 points. Now, if you capture an enemy's hexagon, you get 10 points. You're both attacking and defending from each other, trying to hold most of the map against the enemy. And of course, if you take the enemy's starting or main hex, that would end the game and you would be victorious. Now, back to miscellaneous cool-ass features. In Idalo's version of Utah Beach, all the landing craft would start moving at once. This way, the Germans don't know exactly which boat the Americans are in and could just easily pinpoint them. But that's not the only little perk the Americans get in Idalo's version. They get a 50 cal machine gun mounted on each landing craft. This way, we're no longer sitting ducks as we approach the beach, but we can shoot back not only a little bit, but a lot of it with a high-power machine gun. Now, this one is really cool. So we mentioned a complete rework of the logistical system and many more deployables. Well, Idalo here has implemented a complete and total package for base building. Yeah, that's right. As you can see here, you can lay down the structure of the building you want to build and fill in the walls around it. You can make walls with murder holes in them so that you can aim your rifle out of the hole. You can make walls that are halfway high and walls that are halfway vertically as to make a doorway. You can pretty much design and make your own customizable bunkers. Now you can only imagine the super fobs people will make with this kind of tool set. Something like this in the vanilla game I think would go a long way with bringing new players, as base building is just so popular today in modern games. Look out, Fortnite. Idalo and his customizable bunkers are coming for you. Now, here's a cool one, and definitely I've seen requested, especially the second part of this. Here, the regular old rifleman is able to break down the MG, take it upstairs, lay it down on the ground, run back outside, pick up the tripod, take it back upstairs, and place the tripod in the window where he can then mount the MG again. But that's not the cool part, really. I mean, that's pretty cool, but this part has been requested since the beginning. And Idalo here has made it so the MG's height is adjustable. So no longer do you place an MG down and hope and pray it gets out the window you're trying to shoot out of. With Idalo's system here, you'll be able to, for the most part, shoot out of any window you want. So the pros at YouTube swear up and down that you shouldn't make your videos longer than 10 to 15 minutes, as the average gamer, especially gamers, have the attention span of a goldfish. But we're milsimmers, right? Now, I don't want to make this video too long anyway, as my bottom's starting to get soggy. Let's go ahead and wrap things up. I've saved some of the best for last. Here we have a scoreboard, and it's implemented into the game as like an in-game notice board at main. Now, I'd rather see it, and I'm sure Idalo could do this, and that would be to make it like a final report, much like Hell Let Loose has. But that's not all he's done here. He's made it so that we can finally name our squads. That's right, I can finally name my corny little 4th Infantry Squad SEAL Team Ricks again. Woohoo! Pretty cool feature nonetheless, no matter how it's implemented. As you can see, he shot off 3 rounds, and 3 rounds were counted on the scoreboard. Do notice the little homage to our fantastic community leader, Snazzy Duckling. But moving right along, something that may be the most requested feature that I've seen since the game's inception. And that, my precious Mil-Simps, is the ability to shoot an enemy in the head and take his frickin' weapon. Not only his weapon, but his supplies too. Now sure, easier said than done. Put this in the vanilla game and who knows what it breaks. I'm no coder, I don't make video games, but still the idea is pretty freaking cool. Worst comes to worst, this is something that could come to the Postscriptum Realism mod, as I feel that whole community will be a huge part of Postscriptum future. Now, to finish off the video, Idalo has done it once again, and this one is out there. Now, I'm sure this isn't even going to be capable on a small map like Best, but realism aside, if we slow down the planes to about half top speed, flyable, player-controlled aircraft may just be possible, as we take a look at Idalo's early version of his flyable aircraft mod. Yeah, you're seeing straight. Now, as janky and clumsy as it may look for an early version, the plane's definitely up and flying. You're not only flying around and turning, but doing freaking strafing runs. Now, personally, I don't think this will ever come to the vanilla game. I don't think it's really needed, and especially not until they get at least 100 players. Let one guy go up and screw around in a plane for all I care. He'll be just as easy to shoot right out of the sky, I'm sure. Anyway, I know this is a lot to take in all at once. Let me know what your favorite stuff was down in the comments. What are some of your ideas you've had over the years? I'd love to hear it. And all you gotta do is comment on my videos, really, to win Steam keys. We give away a Steam key every week. We actually have 1 copy of Postscriptum I'm gonna give away this weekend, but have no fret, stick around, we'll get more. To enter the weekly giveaway, it's super easy. All you gotta do is like this video, be subscribed to the YouTube channel, of course, and join our little Discord community. It's linked below, the Boogie 5 Discord channel. And to enter, all you gotta do is simply drop a comment, say whatever you want, but leave your Discord name and number, because that's going to work as your ticket stub if you do win. We also do a top 10 Mil-Sim moments episodic series. Come through to the Discord, submit your clips to the submit your clips section, because whoever wins first place of episode 4 wins another Steam key. Before we go, I want to give a special shout out to my channel members. We got a new member coming in at the Mil-Simp tier. I don't even know how to say his name. I'm just going to call him Scissors. Consider joining the Mil-Simp minions. Whatever tier you come in at gives you double the entry in every Steam key giveaway. That's right, for as little as 25 cents a week, doubles your chances on winning every week's Steam key giveaway. And you get to support me and the channel. I was saying in the other episode, I don't know how I've kept this Steam key thing going for feels like years now. As long as we have a handful of members, the more we get, the better Steam keys we'll get to give away. Alright, I want to thank you all. Good luck in the coming giveaways. I hope you're as excited for the future of Postscriptum as I am. I'll see you boys in the next one. Y'all be good to each other.